UFC 249 canceled, man. B man, thank you for having me part of your podcast. Uh, I don't know, for selfish reasons, I'm starring for some combat sport, and I haven't seen boxing in a while. And UFC 249 was going to provide that, you know. And then even when even Khabib and Ferguson got canceled, and they want to do another match with the guy I didn't know that well. But I mean, it was supposed to be an Indian reservation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Indian reservation in California.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dana White was looking out for us in a little bit, like to give us a little bit of sports interest. What do you think?
Well, this is the whole thing, man. You got to look at it from a different perspective. Like Dana White is the type of guy when you tell him no, that makes him want to do something even more.
Uh,
And people were telling him no. The media was questioning him, and it kind of fired him up, man. It kind of fired him up, and at the end of the day, he was just going to do it just to prove people wrong that he could do it. So necessarily, it may not have been the right thing to do in his mind, but he got pushed to a point where he just couldn't turn back. You know, at the end of the day, this was not the card that we really wanted. We didn't want to see Justin, if I can pronounce this guy's name, because
I don't know how to say
I'm
it
not
neither.
Gauthier, Gauthier, I think his name is. So Justin Gauthier, I guess was going to be filling in for Khabib because Khabib was stuck in Russia, and obviously we know why he was stuck in Russia because you can't travel now because of the
But
coronavirus.
but but I think even Dana White said that was bullshit. There was a private plane for him, Khabib, to
No,
get out.
He couldn't come. He couldn't come. I don't know about the private plane, but from what Khabib said, he couldn't come, and Dana White said he understood it. Gaethje, okay, yeah, thank you, Ralph. So Justin Gaethje, I don't want to disrespect the guy because I don't really know all the MMA guys, and I guess Rose Mama Nunez, she pulled out because two of her family members died of the coronavirus.
It's crazy.
So let's cut to the chase here. I know that you wanted to see it, and I like you. I was jonesing for some combat sports. Would I have bought it? Yeah, I probably would have because I'm a loser. I buy everything. I'm a junkie, man. I'm gonna buy like I
I would
said
have
it
bought it
time
too.
I say it time and time again. But at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this: the whole world was shut down. Okay,
But that's what makes it even better. The whole
but let
world
me
is.
let me finish, man. Let me get this off, and then you can kick in here. The whole world is shut down, right? All the sports are shut down. Even the Olympics was postponed, okay, because of this virus, right? So everything is shut down. So Dana White, all of a sudden, in the midst of all of this crisis that's going on, he's like, "Damn it, I'm gonna have a UFC event. I don't give a shit who tells me I can't." All right, so that's that. We already alluded to that earlier in the video. But the thing is this: so he's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna test everybody. I'm gonna make sure everyone's okay." But here's the thing: if you listen to these press conferences every day from President Trump with the coronavirus task force team, and a lot of the media will be asking Donald Trump about the testing. There's a lot of complaints out there that there's not enough testing, and also they don't want people to get tested unless they have symptoms. So these
Right.
UFC guys are going to get tested when people who are sick can't even get tested, or other people, normal people, can't even get tested. But these guys, because they want to put on an event, they're going to get tested. So they're taking tests away from people who really need them. Number one. Number two, someone in the chat said this earlier in the week when Eric and I did a show about this, and how Dana White said this was going to happen or whatever. And we just did a show on whether or not we thought it was the right thing to do and whether or not we thought it was going to happen. And someone in the chat said, "Well, how are people going to even buy this pay-per-view because no one's working? There's a lot of people out of work. So you're asking them to dig into their pockets to pay for a pay-per-view. So is that the right thing to do? And not only that, again, the whole state of California was complaining. I know Senator Dianne Feinstein was complaining. I think Gavin Newsom had some issues with the event. So there was just a lot of negative press leading up to this whole thing, and it wasn't going to go away. So this
Yeah.
was a no-win situation. You have Tony Ferguson first, Justin Gaethje. It's not like it's Khabib, so it's not really a significant fight, a fight that people are calling for, people that has to have,
Yeah, but I mean,
a fight that people think has to happen. Number one, and number two, you have the co-main, Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas. That was scrapped because Rose Namajunas had 2 deaths in her family because of the coronavirus. So it's kind of a slap in the face to her that you're not taking the virus serious. Meanwhile, she's got 2 people in her family that passed away from it. So that's a little bit insensitive on that part. So at the end of the day,
but WrestleMania made it happen.
we're going to talk about that after, because actually WWE is still taking place too. They're still having events, and it's still being broadcast on USA, and they're still having Raw, and they're still having the other show they have. What is it, Raw? And what's the other show they have?
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Okay, yeah. I don't watch wrestling much anymore. Well, we're gonna get into that afterwards.
Oh no,
But
NXT. You're talking about NXT.
yeah. So this was a PR disaster. This was gonna be a nightmare, no matter what. And then he's talking about an island. Oh, I'm gonna have events on an island. So basically saying, if this ever happens again, I'll just take my ball and bring it over to my island, and no one can mess with me. And basically, I'm gonna have events over here, and I won't have to deal with this in the future because I have my own little island.
I
And
actually think that part is a bad idea.
whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, at the end of the day, this whole thing is just a bad look on Dana White, because Dana White is really being insensitive here, and he's not really taking the whole situation with this virus seriously, and the whole world is shutting down. Meanwhile, he thinks the UFC is more important than all these other essential things that are shut
But
down.
but, but
And
don't
and,
you
and,
think
and
this
the
is?
UFC is not essential. It's not
But don't you
essential.
think he's just trying to give us our sports in the, you
No, come
you
on,
just said
man.
yourself. You
No.
just said yourself you were craving some combat sports, right? So maybe a little part of him
There's
was
a
just
lot of
trying
things.
to.
I'm craving going to the gym right now. I'm craving a little bit of punani. I can't get any of these things right now because I'm locked up in this motherfucking house. Don't matter what I'm craving. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices. You gotta take an L. I'm taking an L right now. A lot of things I'm not getting. Right? Just being
Yeah,
honest.
I've been watching Rocky movies all day. What's your favorite Rocky movie?
My
What's your
favorite Rocky movie. It's
what your
kind.
favorite?
It's like Rocky 3 and Rocky 1 are tied for like first. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I got Rocky Balboa and Rocky 2.
But here's the crazy thing: like when you look at like some of those dramatic scenes that was in that series, like the interaction between Rocky and Adrian, right? Think about
On
this
Rocky
now.
4, you can't win. It's suicide.
Yeah. So throughout all the movies, like Rocky 2, when he's getting ready for the rematch, Adrian's like, "Oh, I don't want you to fight anymore. You should retire, get a regular job." Then Rocky 3, right? She's like, "You can't win, Rock." And then Rocky 4, she's like, "Oh, what do you want to end up like Apollo? Dead? Is that when you're going to stop?" It's like this chick is like the most non-supporting wife I've ever seen in my life. Like, if it was up to her, this guy wouldn't have had no fights. He would have been a nobody. He would have stopped. He would have stopped after the loss to friggin' Apollo Creed in the first movie. If it was up to this chick,
He wouldn't even fought Apollo if it was up to her the first one.
I'm saying it's non-supportive. This non-supportive chick here, man. Christ sakes. You think about it, right? How
Oh
bad
my
is
god.
that? We would have stopped after Rocky 1 if it was up to this chick, right? Imagine having a girl like that as your wife, a woman like that as your wife, telling you no, you can't do things, you can't do what you want to do.
That was the most non-supportive answers, right?
Non, it's the most non-supportive chick I've ever seen in my life, man. Talk about ride or die for your man. I mean, I don't think she got the memo, right? But let's talk about the WWE thing because I actually just found out today that
Yeah,
they.
WrestleMania went on.
But not only that, they're still doing their weekly shows too, and they're doing them at the
Yeah.
WWE Performance Center in Florida, right? So I guess what's happening is because first of all, those events there's no there's no commission involved because it's not really a sport; it's considered entertainment.
But it's still a gathering of 50 or more people, though.
I'm not sure because they're taping it, and I was talking to my friend about this, and he's saying because they're taping it, maybe he's only bringing a couple like two people in at a
Oh, like
time or
12
whatever.
people at a time.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I mean, and plus, like I said, you're not dealing with a commission, so it's not really a regulated thing. But I would think is the WWE Performance Center considered a non-essential? But that's not really a place. That's not like a place of business. They're not selling anything out of there. That's just basically. But again, it could be considered a gym, and they're closing the gym down. But then again, Vince could have talked to the governor and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm only bringing two people in. Excuse me, two people in at a time, and I'm taping it, and I'm doing it in increments. So maybe it's a different format. It's a different situation.
possibly.
I really can't speak on that, but I do know that they do tape it. So it's not a
Yeah,
live
yeah,
event.
it was
And I
pre-taped.
do
Yeah.
know that obviously there's no commission involved because again, it's considered entertainment. It's not a real, it's not a sport. I don't want to say it's not a real sport. It's not a competitive sport really because
So,
the outcome is determined or
so
predetermined.
let me ask you a question. Do you? Yeah, never call. Actually, if you ever meet a wrestler, the worst thing you could tell them is that it's fake
Oh,
because there's nothing
I don't use
fake.
the word fake. I just say it's choreographed. It's predetermined.
Right. Um. With that being said, I have a question for you. So you think Dana White was acting out of greediness on this one?
I think Dana White was just being obstinate. Dana White is just being Dana White.
Meaning
You
what?
know,
That's not an answer.
Dana White is just being Dana White. He doesn't like being told he can't do something. Some people are just like that. You can't tell them no. All right.
Vince McMahon, Donald Trump. I
Vince
mean,
McMahon, Donald Trump, same thing.
yeah. What now? Andy Ruiz Jr. posted something on his Twitter with him versus Luis Ortiz, and he says, "What do you guys think?" I love that fight.
I love the fight too, but the thing is this: I thought that was a fight that was already proposed to him, along with the Dillian White fight. I thought those were two fights that were already proposed to him, but he turned them down. So I'm saying
I
to
don't know.
myself, why this guy turn it down? Why did he turn those fights down?
Bro.
That's what I'm asking myself. So if that
Who do
fight,
you, who do you think wins though?
that fight,
That's a
I think
good one, man. That's a tough.
I think Luis Ortiz has a
Close it off.
style that would be very problematic. I would actually pick Luis Ortiz in that fight, to be honest.
It'll be a tough one though.
Yeah, I think Dillian White, style wise, would be a better fight for him because, like I said, like Luis Ortiz is very slick. He knows how to use range very well. He's a southpaw. Even though he's older, he's just a real crafty, slick guy. He's hard to hit. Dillian White's gonna be right there in the phone booth with you. And the thing about Ruiz is Ruiz got really fast hands. Dillian White, his hands aren't slow, but I think Andy Ruiz may have an edge in hand speed. And Andy Ruiz is also a very fluid combination puncher when he's in the pocket with his feet set. And Dillian White's not going to be hard to find in that fight. He's going to be right there in the phone booth with them. So I think style wise, that would be a better fight for him. It's a more winnable. I think it would be an easier fight or a more winnable fight. That's not to say that Dillian White couldn't hit him with a left hook and get him out of there. But I would actually maybe. But see, you can't. It's hard to pick Andrew Ruiz in any fight because you don't know if he's going to show up in shape or not.
How about
An inch,
How about
an,
Ferguson could be? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
an in
Um,
shape. I would pick an in shape Ruiz, maybe over Dillian White. But I think Ortiz style wise, I think I would pick Ortiz over Ruiz.
how about Ferguson versus Khabib if it did happen?
You know I'm gonna ride with Khabib. You already know that.
Khabib?
That's like that's like asking me. That's like asking me, is Christmas in December? You know I'm big on
No,
Khabib.
no. The reason no, but the reason why I say that there's a lot of MMA ex pro fighters that were going for Ferguson on this one.
Listen, if you tell me Ferguson's gonna win that fight, you have an argument. It's not like this ain't like an open and shut case type deal here. I mean, it's gonna be a tough fight. Definitely be.
This,
It's gonna be
this
Khabib's.
would have been
It's gonna be Khabib's toughest
this have
fight
been would this have been the fight of the year?
for MMA.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
general.
you could make an argument. Yeah, it could have been the event of the year because this is a fight that's been. Look at the storyline behind this fight. How many this fight's
Five
been cursed,
cancellations. Five.
right? 5 times, so this is the fifth or the sixth time that this
No,
fight,
this is the fifth.
the fifth, right?
Yeah,
That's freaking crazy. Like, when have you ever seen a situation like this
never, never. No.
where a fight is like postponed 5 freaking times, dude? That's
Do,
out of control, man.
do you think one person is scared of the? Do you think they're both a little scared of each other?
Nah, I don't think they're scared of each other. I think they know that
It's gonna be the craziest fight of their life.
it's a tough fight for either guy. They know. They know. If you were to ask both guys deep down inside, like, is this going to be your toughest fight to date? They're going to say yes, if they're telling the truth.
Who you had winning the girl fight?
The Rose fight,
Yeah, I like
versus,
just.
you know something? I like both of them, but I love Jessica Andre. I love her
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Yeah, she's kind of cute too, man. I like her.
yeah.
She's really cute, but she's like the type of girl, like, she's got a great personality too. When you see like a lot of the footage they have with her daughter and stuff, her daughter's adorable. She just looks like a really good mom. Seems like a really good person, and she's really talented too.
Yo, I was one of the only ones to pick Amanda Nunez, and I hit a good chunk of money on that one. I
Yeah,
picked Amanda
yeah,
Nunez over Cyber, and everybody told me I was crazy for picking that.
yeah.
But it was something about the way Amanda was carrying herself. Like I was like, yo, I think she's gonna beat her, you know. And every MMA fan was telling me I'm crazy. I'm like, because I
Ama-
watched like the press fight
Amanda
interviews.
Nunez is no joke, man.
So Floyd says he wants to be an a trainer now. What's your feeling about that?
The thing about athletes who are really like elite athletes, when you have a guy like for instance, you had a guy like Jordan trying to be a coach.
Who's gonna win?
These guys are such perfectionists that you have to ask yourself, would they be able to teach somebody who's not at their level, who they can't get what they want out of them in terms of get the same amount of talent and ability out of them that they had themselves. A lot
Right,
of times, like, when you have situations like that, you have a kind of a breakdown in communication. It's sort of like a disconnect, like, because no matter what, Floyd is gonna want to be working with people who were like him, and it's gonna be hard to deal with someone and find someone that's of your caliber. So can Floyd would one thing being able to show someone how to do something, giving someone instructions, but there's another thing teaching them. I can
well, you
show
also have
you I could
you
show you
also
what to do. I could show you what to do, but can I help you absorb what I'm showing you? Can I help you apply what I'm showing you? Can I help you learn what I'm showing you?
I also feel like you also have to feel like you have to build confidence in, like, I remember, like, when I wanted to be an actor, and I had not my cousin who's an actor. He was on The Sopranos and shit. Gary Perez. He was an FBI agent on a couple episodes of Sopranos. He's been doing this and that.
Who was? Who was? Cousin?
Yeah, my cousin got my dad's first cousin. Yeah, my second cousin, Gary Perez.
Wow.
He hooked me up with an acting coach, right? And after this acting coach, I swear to God, I started. It's not like I started landing role after role, but I started getting callbacks. Like, you could see it in the eyes when I went to audition that they liked me a lot better. And she gave me a discount, and I'm gonna say the price because I'm not even gonna say who it was. It was 125 an hour. But what she did for me is, like, at one point she even told me, she was like, fill out this thing, and I didn't fill it out, and I came and I tried to bullshit, and she was like, Jesse, I'm just trying to help you. You're just bullshitting yourself. But and then when I wrote like a monologue, she was like, yo, she was like, Jesse, your dimples are beautiful. Use it. Like, she built this confidence in me where I was able to go in there confident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
She made you believe in yourself.
yeah, and I don't think Floyd. I mean, let's see what happens. But I don't think Floyd is that trainer.
Floyd's a very narcissistic person.
That
And
where I'm getting.
even as
Yeah,
a promoter, he still talks about himself and tries to put himself out in the limelight more than his fighters.
right,
And he's
right.
always going to be like that. It's always going to be about him. So
So how
you
can
want to
we
work with
picture him
someone like
doing a
that?
good?
Is someone like that going to make you better? I don't
So how
think.
can we picture him doing a better job as a trainer? That's my point.
That's just a publicity stunt. He's on Twitter or on Instagram holding pads for people. I mean, is he really training anybody?
I mean,
I don't
I
know.
feel bad. I do feel bad for him. You know, Rogers just
Um,
passed away. What happened? His ex-wife or daughter? What happened with his ex-wife or daughter? Something.
um, it was his baby. It was his baby's mama,
Huh?
his ex girlfriend,
Got killed, right?
the mother of his children. Yeah.
And Roger just died. I mean, there's some kind of sympathy there, but
Oh yeah. I mean, I of course I'm gonna empathize with that part of the situation, but I'm not a real a Floyd fan as a person.
me neither.
I'm just not.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
just not.
Didn't
Like
you say he did some bullshit during the coronavirus?
yeah. When he like is in a room, he's on. I think he put a video on Instagram. He was in his in his room, in some room in his house or something. He had a big pile of money on the table. And he's sitting there like saying, I know everyone's kind of stressing about the coronavirus. Everyone's been hit hard. A lot of people out of work, but I made smart moves, man. I still got my money.
That's not cool.
I don't have to worry about that coronavirus. And
That's not cool.
that's just the type of person he is, man. It's that's just like a that's a shitty thing to say to somebody, man. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah, especially at this time, bro. Especially at this time.
He's just not a likable guy, bro. In my opinion, I just don't think he's a likable guy. I gotta be
See,
honest.
now, since we're talking about the UFC too, this is a great topic. What do you think happens if he enters the UFC
He ain't
arena?
gonna enter the UFC.
You don't think so?
Nah, come on, man. You really think that dude's gonna enter the UFC?
He's too smart for that, right?
He's just an attention seeker, man.
Yeah.
He's just an attention seeker. Try to get everybody excited. Yeah, man. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. He's not gonna do it, man. There's no way.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Pacquiao fight happened 5 years. I don't want to turn this into
He's
Floyd.
always what he's gonna always do is do whatever he can to get attention, and that's just what he does.
Yeah, but you do have to feel bad for him at a time like this, though.
I do, but you don't seem to be grieving really hard, does he? He's always like in front of a camera, like trying to get
Well, I
attention.
mean, I'm
Let
sure
me
he's
ask you
not.
this. Let me ask
Yeah.
you this.
What's up?
If that was you, would you be out in front of a camera? Wouldn't you kind of like be grieving, doing your own little thing and stuff, right? You wouldn't be like looking for attention in a situation like that. Am I right?
Um, I'm gonna actually have to disagree with you. I might be trying to call in every show possible just to get my mind off the fact.
That's different. But you're not gonna be out in front of a camera. You know,
The coronavirus shit was stupid, but what I'm saying is, at a time like the way I handle grievance, I might call into every talk show, like just trying to talk about different topics or try to call, you know, that's what I mean. I don't think Floyd disregards his uncle, if that's what you're getting at.
no, I'm not talking about that. But it's just like it always seems to shift to him. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, not. I mean, yeah.
That's just what I think. You know. And even when that coronavirus was going on, like he was talking about that shit, like his money. You know, that was like even with all that, he was still grieving his uncle. He was still grieving, his ex girlfriend or whatever. But he went on there and he's like, yeah, man, I still got mines, even if you guys don't have yours. It's like that ain't the right thing to do at that time.
Nah, he's a. I mean,
That's
he's a
just the way.
kid.
He's just not.
No,
He's just not a likable dude, bro. He's just not a likable person. He just does a lot of shit that's just in poor taste, in my opinion. But if
oh, 100%,
if you
100%,
like, you like what you like, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
100%, bro. Who is the coolest person in UFC to you? Mine is Nate Diaz, bro. I love Nate.
From a personality standpoint,
Yeah.
um, there, what's his name there? Derek,
Oh wait,
Derek,
I'm sorry.
what's his name there? The guy that John Jones fight,
I forgot. I don't know.
the heavy guy.
Nate
Dennis
is so
Cormier,
cool.
Daniel
Oh,
Cormier,
okay.
Daniel Cormier. I like Daniel Cormier.
Nate is so cool, bro, because he's just like, yo,
Daniel
man.
Cormier, I think has a good personality. I like him, man. He's kind of
And
he's
he's
kind of
like, yo, get.
he's a
He was
great
like, look,
he's a great
do gang.
commentator too. Yeah, the Diaz brothers are funny as hell, man.
Nate's like, let's do gangster. And the one thing I give Nate, he always says his brother's greater than him. He never says I'm the greatest. He goes, no, my brother's better than me.
Yeah,
I
yeah, he
love that
likes.
kind of relate. I love that kind of,
Yeah, they have a good relationship, man.
Um, you know who's the best boxing personality for me?
Who's that?
Paulie Malignaggi.
I like Paulie Malignaggi too.
Like just the way he calls people out on shit, bro. He's not the best boxer in the world, but
He's
his
not.
whole personality.
No, he's got a good personality.
But he's up there, bro. He beat Zab Judah.
So, what do you think about like what the PBC's doing right now? They're showing a lot of their old events, putting them on the weekends and stuff. Like they're showing like the old.
I'll take it. I like it.
It's kind of good.
No,
What do you think about this the Zone and ESPN Plus? Like, you think they should still be charging people even though there's no fights going on right now? What do you think they should? Do they, you
no.
think, just like how the gyms are shut down, and
It
they're not
should
they're
be
not
free of
charging
charge.
people they're not charging people gym memberships now. So maybe
Right.
you
It should be
maybe
free of
maybe
charge.
ESPN Plus and the Zone should like kind of freeze people's memberships and stuff
I
for
a
the
hundred
time
percent
being. For
agree
the
with
time
that.
being,
Yeah,
do you agree
a
with that?
100% agree. Yep, 100%.
That's
Yo, B
that's
man, I've been told you're more. When I have a point and I bring it up to you, you just shut me down quickly. I'm like, oh shit, you're right. I'm like,
I have a way of making you think about maybe the opposing opinion that you didn't have.
Yeah,
I have the ability to make you change your mind. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. But one thing you're never gonna make me change my mind about is Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump, I think, isn't as bad as everyone says he is. I don't care if people. I mean, there's a lot to criticize Donald Trump about. Don't get me wrong, but I just can't vote for like Joe Biden. There's no way. I'm not gonna vote anyways because my state is it's a Democratic state. The last time a Republican won this state during a presidential election was in 1984. That was like
Well,
36 years. That was like 36 years ago, bro.
you'll be surprised. Last time a Republican won Philadelphia, Pennsylvania
Yeah,
was 88, and Trump won it this year.
yeah. But
No, New York would never
I
change. I don't
if
think New York is ever.
if I was because I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter if I vote or not. Like a Democrat's gonna always win this state. It's the most liberal state in the country, Massachusetts.
No, New York is.
I think we are, but we still have that Obamacare type health insurance, bro.
I think New York is the most liberal.
Yeah, it's one of them. But anyways, the thing is like whether I vote or not, my vote's not gonna count in this state because Biden will probably win this state regardless, even if I vote for him or I don't vote for him. So it don't
Yo,
matter.
what if we do a quarantine boxing match? I put on my mask and my gloves, and I,
Ain't gonna happen.
I simulate a swing over here. You gotta go. I'm
Yeah.
I'm really missing my combat sports, man. So I mean, I know you're gonna disagree with me on this one, but Dana White, man, thank you for trying.
So you thought this was a good move. You were in support of it.
I was excited for it.
If you were Dana White, would you have tried to put this event on? Because first of all, it's not the main event that we wanted. Number one, so it was
Well,
this.
well, that's when shit started to go left. But from the beginning, when it was Khabib Ferguson, yeah, I would have liked it.
Do I like Obamacare? Raphael asked me. Even though it wasn't perfect, I do like the concept of everybody having health insurance, and so I gotta say that. So what really changed my mind about everyone having health insurance, and I know it's not an easy thing to do, but what changed my mind about health insurance is one day I was getting a surgery. I was getting a knee surgery, and I walked into that waiting room, waiting to get prepped up for surgery, and I looked around and I saw all them people around me, and I was like, you know what? I said to myself, imagine if all these people in here who are in pain right now, they're all in pain. They're all aching. They all had a look on their face like, damn, I'm hurting right now. Imagine if all them people didn't have health insurance. They would have to live in pain and suffer, right?
There you go, B. You're becoming a Democrat. So, but
No, I consider myself a moderate. But at the end of the day, though, I like being able to choose my doctor because people will sit there and say, like,
that's
okay,
true. That's true.
like the thing is this. People like to say like socialized medicine, like, okay, what's wrong with socialized medicine? I mean, you have social programs right now, like the police department is will be considered a social service, right? Firemen, the mailman. Okay,
First responders.
yeah, they would be considered like that's a part of socialism because those are government jobs. Those are social services, right?
Yeah.
So people will say, well, why can't healthcare be like that? Because there's a difference between specialized care and standardized care. Think about this. Now, this is about to make you go like you're gonna be like, damn, B, you're gonna drop because I'm getting ready to drop a gem for you right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So when you get ready to go for an operation, right?
Hmm.
Are you gonna try to get the best doctor you can, the most qualified, most skilled doctor you can, or you just going to
Of
get any
course.
old doctor out there who's the cheapest? Which one you're going to
No.
get? You're going to get the best
No.
doctor, right? You're going
Of
to go out
course.
there and actively look for the best doctor.
Of course.
When you call the police, when you call the firemen, or when you get your mail delivered to you, when you call the police, can you say, "Well, I want such and such to come into my house"? No, you can't pick and choose your policeman, right? You can't pick and choose your fireman, right? You can't pick and choose your friggin' mailman, right?
Right.
Because that's standardized care. You can't, and medical care is not standardized care. It's a specialty care.
Right.
Now, should everyone have it? From a humane, moral standpoint, in my opinion, yes. But it's hard to run it like you would run social service. Is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes the thing about Obamacare that because we have it in our state, so you can keep your own insurance if you have it from your work. But if you don't, you go on this website called the Health Connector, and you can pick your insurance. They actually give you some choices. So the way we have it set up here, because Governor Romney, who's a Republican governor, he actually set it up. We had Obamacare even before there was Obamacare in Massachusetts. So it's not technically socialized medicine, but basically what it is it gives people an opportunity to have health insurance to get it. But
Mhm.
see, a lot of people don't like the fact that if they don't have it, then they have to pay a fine, like they have to pay like a penalty.
Copay.
So no, you pay a penalty. So at the end of the year, when you do your tax return,
Mm.
right? When I file for my state taxes, if I don't have health insurance, I would have to pay a penalty. I think it's like every year it goes up. I think it starts at like $500 and then it goes up from there.
Oh.
So they punish people for not having health insurance, and that's what a lot of the Republicans don't like. They don't like the penalty, but you're gonna have the penalty because in order to be able to make sure that everyone there's enough money to make sure everyone's insured. So they gotta figure out a way. So am I against Obamacare? I have mixed emotions about it because what happens too is a lot of insurance companies use Obamacare to increase their premiums, and a lot of insurance companies, a lot of doctors, they act differently because of Obamacare. They were acting differently. They were making it difficult for people to get um, the types for people to keep their doctors. Like a lot of people were losing their doctor because their doctor didn't want to be like in other words, if you had Obamacare or whatever, and you had to get your own insurance outside of whatever you work. If your work didn't offer it, you had to get it somewhere else. Okay, and maybe you could have been on like some other type of government program where you were getting insured, but because you have to if your work doesn't cover insurance and you have to go out and get it through the Obamacare network, which we call the Health Connector here, and
Yeah.
you may be forced to get an insurance that your doctor may not be in that network, so then you lose your doctor. So
Mm.
that kind of sucks. So
Yeah.
people who've had the same doctor for years, they lose their doctor. They're not going to be happy about that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So there's pros and cons to it. But the concept of making sure everyone's insured, I mean, you have to be supportive of that. I would think. I think that's a kind of a humane thing to do. But is there a better way to do it? You know, I don't know. And then some people were complaining that I'm forced to buy a plan that I don't need. I want like
Right. Right. Right.
a lower type plan, but I'm forced to buy a plan to insure me to a level that I don't feel that I need to be insured on. So a lot of people were not happy with it because a lot of people lost their doctors and a lot of people were paying for a plan that they didn't feel they needed and they were wasting money on it because they had to pay
Right.
more money for a plan where beforehand they had a cheaper plan. So
Right.
I didn't receive my stimulus check. They're supposed
No,
to
I didn't either.
they're supposed to the payments are supposed to start on Monday, this coming Monday. So I don't think anyone got it yet.
Yo, Beeb, you remember this one?
What's that?
What's dumber than a pen in your ear? A
What's dumber
cigarette
than?
in your mouth. Boom. Truth knows.
Ooh,
NBC. You don't remember
I don't
NBC? Truth.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It was true. That's what the NBC used to say. Um,
Yeah.
I
So
feel.
so
Hold on. My last question.
go ahead.
My last question before we leave. Do you ever feel UFC is going to take over boxing?
Well, Dana White said he was going to do Zuffa boxing, but now he's not going to do it anymore. So now he's backpedaling on it. Do I think UFC will be bigger than boxing? I think UFC is probably more popular in the United States than boxing, but boxing as a whole globally, I think will always be more popular than mixed martial arts in the UFC. But what I do find kind of funny is because of the way UFC is structured, the fighters will never make what the boxers make. You know, Canelo makes was making 30 million a fight practically. Joshua was making
Yeah.
40 million a fight. Where Conor McGregor made 30 million when he fought Floyd Mayweather. So for Conor McGregor to
No, but
make
the way UFC makes their fights is on sponsors.
whatever the case, they're still not making what boxers are making. So for a UFC fighter to make as much as a boxer made, he actually had to fight a boxer to do it. When you think
True.
about it, so I don't really try to get into that UFC versus boxing debate. I like both sports, but obviously I'm more of a boxing fan. But I do buy UFC events. I do support the UFC. But at the end of the day, I have a hard time seeing UFC from a pay scale standpoint be bigger than boxing.
And
And I
and and and
and
another thing about boxing, it's more of a family.
but not
Like
only
this sounds
that
stupid,
too.
but it's true.
Not only that too. When you look at Floyd Mayweather's pay per view numbers, right? You look at Anthony Joshua's pay per view numbers over in the UK. You look at Canelo's pay per view numbers, what he was doing when he was on pay per view. The UFC events, I don't think can compete with those types of numbers. Like,
Yeah.
but the good thing about UFC is they put on better cards overall from top to bottom. They're more consistent. So the argument for UFC could be, well, collectively, our shows do better than boxing shows. Our pay per views collectively as a whole do better than boxing's because there's a lot of boxing pay per views, at least in the United States, that don't do well at all. So
Well, and then some of them surprise you. Didn't Tyson Fury versus Wilder do like tremendous numbers?
the final numbers didn't come out yet. I guess they were saying it did about 700,000,
That's good though, right?
but they didn't count in the digital yet. So I don't know what the final numbers were.
But I'm saying that's good though, right? 700,000 pay per view buy.
700,000, yeah. I wouldn't complain with it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all. Be honest.
Oh. Yo, if you catch me out, Jesse Rican one at Twitter at Jesse Rican one.
Why don't you put your Twitter handle in your freaking title, bro? Like I do. Then you don't even have to shut yourself out. You're looking at me like perplexed. You're like Beeb's right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, I never thought about it.
Right, would have made it easy. No, you can still shut yourself out. I'm just busting chops.
At Jesse Rican one Twitter, man. Um, B, you gonna say this is kissing your ass, but I swear to God, you're the person I know with the most box. I never met somebody that knows more boxing now. Cause when I call
There's a
you,
lot of people know more than me, man.
bro, but me, I said me personally. When I call you, like you even told me, you were like, bro.
I remember when I made the Fury bet. You were like, calm down. Fury's going to win. And this is how it's going to. And sure enough, it happened
You
like step
broke
by step, the way you
broke
know.
that down good, huh?
You did a great job on that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh God. Yo, so so make sure you check us out tomorrow. Ringside Reporter Podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'm going to call in.
You gonna call in?
I always call in.
All right. Well, on a good note, I was a little skeptical because what if this card didn't come off right, and maybe Tony Ferguson he could have been upset, or he could have got injured or something, and then we wouldn't have got that Khabib fight. So now at least we kind of feel comfortable saying that we'll probably get that Khabib fight next
I agree
if
with you on that one.
if
Yeah.
something don't come up in the some unforeseen thing happens again where it gets postponed for a sixth time.
Yo, and let me just. I'm sorry. I know this is a show, but let me just make a announcement real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Please wear your gloves. Please wear your mask. This shit is serious. No, I'm serious.
And make
Like,
sure you
New-
follow the 30
like New
day
York,
30 days to slow the spread.
New,
The
New
president's recommendations.
bro. 9/11 lost 2,000 people. Right now, New York has lost 7,000.
7,000 people.
Yeah,
Yeah, Massachusetts is starting to get up there.
this shit is serious. Yo, we gotta take this serious, bro.
Yeah,
You know,
I love.
and I'm gonna challenge Beef to a boxing fight, simulated. I'm, I'm gonna swing my right, and then he's gonna no Beef.
I got you. I got you.
I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. Easter's tomorrow, so happy Easter, everybody. We're still gonna do the
Happy
show,
Easter. Yes.
but JC
And
asked me.
happy Passover. Happy Passover. So,
Not Jesse. JC asked me, what do you think of Khabib? I think Khabib's an outstanding fighter, man. I think he's
but
an
he's
outstanding
gonna
fighter.
lose, bro. You think you got him on this level that he's not gonna lose, and you're wrong. And the the thing about UFC more than boxing, you're gonna end up with a loss.
That's true. That's true. Any final words before we end this?
Um,
Everybody stay safe.
everybody stay safe, and my son's birthday is April 25th. So, Beeb, if you could give him a happy birthday shout out,
Happy
I
birthday,
appreciate
brother.
it. Yeah, that's it, bro. Just take care of yourself, Beeb. Thank you so much for letting me do this tonight.
No problem, bro. It ain't really. I mean, we ain't got really too much else to do out there because we're friggin' locked down like friggin' like it's the end of the world right now, man. This quarantine shit is serious, bro.
Let me ask you a question while we're still on the air. Did I do a good job? Because I know if I call you off the air, you're gonna tell me yes, yes, yes.
Oh, come on, man. You can't break the fourth wall right now, man. You can't break the fourth wall. You don't ask questions like that when you're on the air. With that question, you kind of blew it there.
I did horrible.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. All right, guys. I'll see you later, man. Take care, everybody. Be good.